All right. Let's do a daily C-Lab guide for Trial Mountain Group 4s in the Supra. Let's get to a little bit of clean track. All right. So let's start with the chicane because it starts your lap. All right, so this green moss on the wall, right here, this is your braking marker. I know it's not a fancy number board, but it's a thing. And it has layers like an onion. You got this really deep green, right? It's kind of a bigger spot. And then you got the lighter part. So if you can stop better, then you're probably going to want to use this. Or maybe even this one, right? These are literally your braking points going into this corner. This is what I use. Okay? And the braking point in the Group 4s is right about here. And that gives you enough time to stop in a straight line. Start coming off the brakes at the end of this curb. Trail brake into the corner. Lead it in. Come off the brakes. Start accelerating in second. Sweep out a little bit. Carry speed. Stay turning left, but keep the car square. Make sure the car's squared up. And the weight's center. Transfer back to the left. You're going to lift. You might even lift a little bit to come back over to the left side to line it up. So like you'll accelerate, then lift, accelerate, come back, then lift as you turn in. So you're going to turn in, you're going to start turning, right? It's going to start understeering. Then you're going to lift and get back on the throttle. And also you can shift a third gear here. And that will carry all your momentum out to this pit wall. And you want to go as straight as possible, maintain lateral grip, but try to carry as much speed as possible. So that's the fine line you're going to ride, where you're going to start to get oversteer and it fishtailing and almost understeering into the wall. So you just try to find a nice straight exit right here out to this pit wall and try and carry as much speed and momentum as you can in third gear while keeping the weight centered, or at least inside the left rear tire. Okay. I'll be shifting right near the end of the rev bar. Okay, so fifth gear, turn one. Don't bother shifting to sixth. Unless maybe you're in draft. But I'd probably still say fifth. Okay, you're going to sweep out to this outside curb just a little bit. Alright? You're going to dip the car out onto the curb. What that's going to do is that's going to set up a little bit of understeer in the front end on the front right tire. And that's going to help you turn in and commit to this corner nice and smoothly without the car sliding around on you. Okay? So you're coming out and you're loading the suspension. This is something like a lot of F1 and like kart racers do, is they sweep out and then back in and get that arc cutting. So they try to maintain as much lateral grip as possible on the rear tires, right? And that allows you to accelerate in between here and set up the right-hand corner because you don't get any understeer. All right, so you're going to come in with understeer, you're going to correct it, and then you're going to keep the car to the left with the throttle and lifting. Okay? So we come out onto the exit curb, or onto the entry curb. Okay? We're just coming by these tents and stuff. All right? I just try to gauge this by looking at the inside curb. Because the only thing you need to focus on going into this corner is putting your right tire on this curb. That's it. If you can put your right tire directly on this curb without getting a penalty, that's the racing line. That's perfect. That's what you want to do every lap. If your tire's a little bit off this curb and you still split it, that's still pretty good. If your left tire's on this curb, you're probably going to get a little bit of understeer, and you're probably going to lose a couple tenths to everybody who hits that line where they cut this. All right. So you want to split it. Put your right tire on the curb. Okay. And then you want to keep left. Right? And you're going to set this up so your left tire goes over the inside curb. All right? Nice and square. I'm barely turning the wheel. Okay? Barely turning the wheel. 45 degrees, if that. All right? I am straight lining this grass part and just lining it up for it. All right? Just like that. Racing line. Okay, so you're going to come off here at about 200 kilometers an hour. All right, you want to stay to the right, because the more you stay to the right here, so this is the importance of keeping the car to the left coming in here after turn 1, right? You set this up to the left more, so you get a better apex through this right, which then makes it so the car doesn't understeer here. You can stay on the right side of the track, and then you have this much more road to go into this corner, because everybody's going to understeer. They're going to be on the left side of the track. They're going to have to lift or brake, right, excessively in order to make this corner and keep it on the track. Or they're going to have to cut the grass and oversteer and slide the car, and they're still going to lose speed. Because when you come out to this exit curb, you want to be at 200 kilometers again. So most people are going to come out to here, and they're going to be at like 192 if they're a little bit sloppy through these first 3 corners. So you're losing 8 kilometers an hour by this point, all the way to that tunnel. I don't know what that is in tenths, but it's a lot. It adds up. It's a lot of speed. Okay, so we stay right? Minimal lift. And you just want to use all the road. Carry as much speed as you can, right? I'm down to 202. Maintain 199 all the way through there. All right, let's watch this up to the tunnel. Okay, half brake. Slight lift to get the turn in, right? And then back to full throttle to keep the speed up. Trail braking, bring the car into the inside of the tunnel. Okay, so you come out to the exit curb, doing 200, 5th gear. Follow the exit curb and stay out here, because you need all this road for when you shift down into 4th and you bring the car into the inside curb of the inside of the tunnel. All right? So we come from out here, just before you enter the tunnel. Now, if you'll notice, the road is slightly banked, right? See this banking right here? A lot of people probably don't notice that there's a huge bank. Like, if I stand down at the bottom of the bank and you look at that car, like, it's pretty high up there. This is a big hill. Like, if I were to stand up here with a bowling ball and told you to sit down here with your legs spread and just wait, I guarantee you, by the time the ball got to the fucking white line, you would get out of the way immediately. You'd be like, nope, that's some speed right there. Yeah, it's a pretty good bank. So, you use this banking in 4th gear to bring the car to the inside of the tunnel. And then you shift down into third. Nice half trail brake to quarter trail brake, right? In fourth gear, just to control the momentum of the car and control the rotation better. You don't want to shift down too soon to third, because then the rear will just step out for no reason, or it'll understeer and you'll just be bouncing off the rev limiter for no reason, right? You want to hold fourth longer because that allows you to maintain control better and get a tighter turn in fourth gear. The same thing applies at the end of the back straightaway, but we'll get there. So you coming in fourth, third, right? Patient with your downshift to third. When you get down into third, stay committed with your steering because it's going to understeer. So you want to stay on the inside as best you can without touching this inside wall. And third gear, get on the throttle, stay tight, 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 tight. As you see the crest and the hill start, that's when you're going to want to straighten out your wheel, because you want to maintain lateral grip and use this road over here and hit fourth gear for when you hit this crest. And you'll get a nice little boost in fourth from the turbo down this straightaway. All right? And it's okay to use this exit curb. You just don't want to use too much of it. So just graze it at most, really. But you want to come across the crest or over the crest right about here where this white line is. So just a little bit to the yellow line. This is your exit point that I want you to aim for as you're coming out of the track. Right? This. That's your line. Why? Because there's no risk of hitting this wall. You don't need to be out here. This is pointless. Right? You're just risking grass, curb, wall. You move that in 6 feet. What are you missing? Nothing. You're just scrubbing off speed trying to keep the car on the road if the apex is this wide. If you bring your exit line in a little bit more, you just have that much more road and that much less stress on the car. Also, the secret to this race is, you ready? Are you ready? The actual secret to this entire race. Which means if I tell you all this, it won't matter at all if you don't execute in the race. And it's saving your front right tires. It's being disciplined with your front right tire. The entire race, start to finish. You have to stay completely disciplined with that front right tire and not burn it up. That means not turning excessively and understeering into left-hand corners. Because every single corner that's crucial, long, and important on this track is a left-hand corner in this configuration. All right. So holding fourth, down to third once we get to the inside of the tunnel, right? The inside curb. Up to fourth. Okay, right as these rocks end. Right here. These rocks end, this wall starts. This is your braking point in fourth gear. Okay, you want to roll the car in fourth, downshift to third. Come off the brakes. Lead the car in third. And I want you to aim for your right front tire on this curb or on this white line. All right. So you want to come in, downshift to third from fourth. Come off the brakes. Follow these black marks right here. Follow this in. Use this as a guide. All right. This deep black mark right here, this will basically take you to the inside curb. All right. So use this as a guide. This black mark, as you come in and you aim for this deep one a little bit later. And you'll hit this perfectly with a nice angle for the exit curb and maintain lateral grip. All right. So this is coming over a crest a little bit, and it starts to come downhill. So what a lot of people do, and the mistake they make, is they come in a little bit wide, and they try to make a really sharp turn because it's a 90 degree. But once they get to about this point in the corner, they start to oversteer, and the rear starts to slide out from behind them. Right? So you want to come in a little bit shallower and just keep the front end tight. Keep the weight on the front end. Then you swoop out to this curb a little bit. And then stay on the left side of the track. Just almost graze this wall. So like your left tire should be right here. Without hitting this wall. Right? And you just want to set this up. Stay left in 4th gear. Right? 4th. Then you're going to dab the brake in 4th. Come off the brakes. Commit to the corner. Downshift to 3rd, right about here. Okay, and you're going to get on the throttle and accelerate. And it's going to feel like the car wants to drift. It's going to feel like the car wants to oversteer, right? It's going to be on the edge of oversteer to where it almost wants to go around. And if you were to turn and push it any harder, it would go around. But it's going to sit there and understeer because it's a gutless Group 4 car, right? It's just going to barely understeer. Not enough where you go wide, but just enough that it doesn't oversteer, right? It's just gutless enough to do what it needs to do. And then you're going to shift back to 4th, come into the tunnel, brake a little bit early, shift down to 3rd, come off the brakes, get the car coming in tight, right? You want to aim for this dirt right here with your left tire. And you want the car to be cutting in and stay on the inside, flat out in 3rd, right? And then you hit 4th on the exit, right around here. All right. So 3rd, nice and square, stay to the left, dab the brake. I stay in 4th there, but it's actually faster to go to 3rd. Alright, so this corner, you want to stay tight till about right here. You want to stay tight to the inside of this corner without a lot of understeer. If you're understeering at this point and the car starts to pull towards the outside wall, you're just going to fry that right front. Okay? This is one of those crucial corners where it's really stressful on the right front if you let it be stressful on the right front. So you want to come in here delicately, right? Qualifying, it doesn't matter. You can come in here a little bit harder. But race, you want to come in here delicately. You want to roll the car in, right, with control. Down to 3rd smoothly, right? Just rolling. Just barely pushing, if that. But roll it in here. Then when you get into 3rd gear and you're confident that you're going to make the exit, then punch it. And guess what? This tire will love you at the end of the race. Come lap 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, this tire is going to look like twice as good as everybody else's tire in this spot. And if you don't believe me, do what I say, drive the way I tell you to drive, and then watch the replay, and on lap 10, go around to your car and everybody else's car on the track and do a tire comparison. And just look, and you'll be amazed at how good your tires are compared to everybody else, and what your lap times are compared to everybody else. And you'll be like, how do I go this fast and have this good of a front tire? Well, the only reason why you're fast is because you have this front tire. That's the only reason you stay fast, is because you have this front tire. When you don't have this front tire, guess what? You don't carry speed down this hill. You understeer into this wall and take damage, right? You lose another 5/10 going down that long straightaway because you don't have a right front tire. So discipline in the first 5 or 6 laps and patience will give you what you need to then go run heaters for the last 5 and do what you need to do and pass everybody else like they're standing still. All right? I'm just 45 degrees steering. Chilling. Lap 9. Look at my tires. Not even 50% used. You could literally take the left side, put them on the right, take the right side, put them on the left, and I could go do another 10 laps. No problem. No problem. Even them right out. And then I could probably do another 10 laps when they're both at about 50%. Make good use of tires. All right. So right at the crest of this hill, at about 220, 6th gear. Right here. As soon as you get to the crest and it starts going downhill, shift. All right, line up on this entry curb on the right, and you're gonna brake at this yellow sign. This is your braking marker. If you're really good at braking into this corner, you can brake a little bit past it. And I mean a little bit. I mean like the difference between braking at this sign and braking at this pole. Or braking like halfway between these two. Like not very far. Like, yeah, a couple inches. It'll take you a long way into the corner. Alright, so you line it up. Trail brake. Nice and smoothly. Hold 4th gear. Down to 3rd late. A little bit dab of the brake to get the car tucked in. Okay, so I come in here and I'm following these black marks, right? 4th gear, 4th gear. 3rd, right about here, as the car's still sweeping it in 4th gear. You want to hit 3rd gear right about here, and you want to be able to get on the throttle from that point on. Right? You can lift a little bit here and there to get a little bit of rotation, but you want to be on the throttle when you go down from 4th down to 3rd, and keep it tight. Right? Tight, tight, tight. It's going to feel like it's almost going to be on the edge of oversteer in 3rd gear, and then you're going to hit 4th on this exit curb. All right. And again, you want the car mostly square. That's the importance of staying tight through the corner on the exit, so that when you start to experience a little bit of oversteer and you can tell it's starting, you can straighten out the wheel. Right? And just carry your momentum and speed. I understeered a little bit on that lap. Okay, so coming in 4th, you're going to lead the car to the left. Alright. So back here. You want to set this up so that the car is balanced at the crest of this hill. So you want to line this up back here for this crest and going into the turn that you can't even see yet on the other side of the crest. Okay? So it's like one of the blindest corners you'll ever encounter on a track, besides Nürburgring. So you stay to the right, right side tires on this curb. Straight up. Left side tires on this curb. Okay, you're going to lead the car to the left a little bit. Almost to the end of it. Then you're going to brake in fourth. Down the hill. Down to third. Start coming off the brakes. Trail brake. Lead the car in. Right? Commit to your steering. Off the brakes. And then start accelerating. Your left side tires should be just to the left of this curb. And your right side tires should be on the yellow stuff on the inside. Right? And you come in, third gear, be able to get on the throttle, keep lateral grip, keep the car to the inside, through the corner, and then come out to the exit a little bit later, following the black marks. Right? So when these start coming across, that's when you start coming across. Alright, use a little bit of this exit curb. Then you're going to sweep back to the right, shift up to fourth. Alright, use the boost and the turbo and the higher gearing down the hill. Alright, now, the major mistake a lot of people make coming into this corner is they wait until the car bottoms out to brake. Does anybody know why that's a bad idea? Waiting for the car to just slam into the bottom of this hill before they brake. Well, now there's weight acting on the suspension. And then you're trying to brake and settle it down. And then come through this corner. All at once. Right? They wait for the car to hit this dip, slam on the brakes, try to get the car into the corner. Not going to happen. Before you get to the bottom of this hill, start braking. Just chill braking in fourth, right? Down to third. Come off the brakes early, because you know everybody's going to try to trail brake into this corner, right? And you're going to roll the car in, aim for your right tires on this inside curb, because this is your track limit. Just outside of this inside curb. Your left tires can go on the yellow stuff. Alright, so you split this, stay low, 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 and then come up high. And you should be able to lead the car in, keep it balanced, get right about here, and then go pretty much full throttle. Alright. So split the curb. Throttle in third, fourth, use the hill, brake a little bit early. When the car hits the dip, it brings the car into the corner. Because I've already braked a little bit and I've been leading the car in. Right? And same thing. Straight line brake at the moss on the right side. Come off the brakes. A little bit of sausage. That was a really bad last corner. That was a horrible example. Stay left more. Don't understeer like crazy on this exit. I'm going to point out everything I did wrong here, just so you guys don't do it. I hit this sausage curb. I didn't get on the throttle to rotate the car to the left. So it understeered excessively, way out here, instead of me just getting on the throttle and rotating the car a little bit aggressively, but at least getting it back to the left, right? So then when I come up here, I'm not using this side of the road, and then I just understeered like crazy through this corner, and I got a terrible exit. So basically, I lost like a tenth here, and then I lost 5 or 6. All because I sat in the middle of the road here, and I wasn't disciplined and came back over to the side of the road. And things like that in a 10-lap race add up every single lap. Every single lap, every single corner, everything you do in qualifying, that's good. If you do it in the race, it's probably better than everybody else. I'm not even kidding. Alright, and then a straight line to the finish. And that's your Race C lap guide for this week. Okay, so notes. Rule number 1, save that front right, like your life depends on it. Like it's the only thing that matters. Right? Which means lead the car in, be gradual with your steering, and just don't turn excessively and push really hard when you're turning left. Which means don't turn hard left and mash the throttle, and don't turn hard left when you're on the brakes. You shouldn't hear a heavy screeching from that front right tire anytime you're cornering. Not excessively anyways. That's the point of rotating the car through the apex while you're rolling off the throttle and getting it to the point where the car will turn while being on the throttle and almost oversteer a little bit. Alright. Keep the car square. Read the elevation. Brake early, especially going down hills. Or lift early going down hills to lead the car into the corner before you reach the... What's the term for it? The valley of it. Basically the opposite of the crest. When the car reaches the bottom of the dip, that's when it's going to want to turn and actually dive into the road. So if you can start leading the car into the corner right before that point, when you get that extra grip from the G-force going down into the road, it has somewhere to go rather than just going straight. Yeah, guys. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Share it with your friends. And leave a comment.